Hi, I'm Tom White. I'm an industrial designer, an MBA, and a filmmaker, and these days I shoot exclusively on Zoom. I help organizations understand their value, tell their story, and grow their revenues. I teach business and economics for creatives at the Art Center College of Design, and at the Network for Global Innovation, we develop innovation ecosystems to generate growth for cities, organizations, and entrepreneurs. Before that, I was at the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, where, with our partner, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, we created game-changing innovation that resulted in a green economy in Los Angeles and unprecedented metrics. I was responsible for developing the Master the Pitch program to teach companies how to generate investment. That's the financial impact, but we also looked at the broader social and environmental implications of these companies' progress. Why is this so important? Let's go back to The Wealth of Nations, written in 1776 by Adam Smith, who explained to industrialists at the time how to produce products at the lowest possible cost and at the highest possible profit. This was at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. By pursuing his own interest, Adam Smith said, the industrialist frequently promotes that of society more effectually than when he really intends to promote it. This was in 1776 when there were about 800 million people on the planet. Today, there are about 10 times that amount, and Adam Smith never could have imagined the social and environmental impact that his advice would create. He couldn't know that the west coast of the United States would be literally on fire every year, that there would be a garbage patch of plastic twice the size of Texas floating in the Pacific Ocean, that we would be producing enough CO2 to destroy the ozone layer, that the factories that were needed to produce these products would be a major source of that CO2, that we would be clear-cutting forest for another source of CO2, which is methane emissions from huge herds of cattle around the world. Our reliance on oil and gas has perpetuated these problems, and he never anticipated the level of medical care that would be required when a population reached this scale, or how to take care of people when there was no safety net of capitalism involved. So let's look more closely at financial, social, and environmental impact. When I was at LACI, I was the impact director. I was responsible for measuring the financial, social, and environmental impact of the portfolio companies of these 5 prominent clean tech incubators. We realized that racially, ethnically, and gender diverse firms are up to 35% more likely to generate higher financial returns. Now, financial returns are read on the bottom line, aren't they? We just look at the bottom of the profit and loss sheet, and there they are right there. But social and environmental impact also must be measured. This is the double bottom line. And there's a system for measuring this, and it's called the IRIS system. This is the generally accepted system for measuring, managing, and optimizing impact. And there's an IRIS site. You can go to this site and learn which themes are most appropriate for your organization. Now, what are the benefits of impact? For companies, it helps them raise capital. It provides a compass for new product innovation. It helps them create value and acquire customers and recruit and retain quality employees. For investors, it enables them to track, validate, and manage performance of their companies. It's a tool that they use for continuous improvement to bring in new impact-driven funding and partnerships, and it reinforces their position as a global leader. So let's look at the social, environmental, and economic benefits of impact. At LACI, we measured year-over-year performance of a growing number of companies. So for minority unemployment, that's the number of people employed by the organization who belong to a minority or previously excluded group. We could see what the growth was in terms of volume and in terms of percentage. For female employment, the sum of all paid full-time and part-time female employees, we could measure the growth there as well. We measured economic impact in part by measuring the number of full-time equivalent employees working for enterprises either financed or supported by the organization. And we measured environmental impact across several IRIS codes. For GHG reduction, we calculated that we were removing about 13,000 cars from U.S. roads for 1 year. We saw that the amount of energy generated and consumed by these companies in the form of renewable resources was enough to power almost 10,000 homes for 1 year. Volume of water savings over the lifetime of the organization's products were filling 35 Olympic-sized swimming pool equivalent. The amount of non-hazardous waste disposal avoided based on the organization's refurbishing, reuse, and recycling as part of developing or delivering their products or services were the equivalent of taking 60 garbage trucks off the road for 1 year. So who cares about double bottom line? Companies, customers, and investors. When we talk about investors, we're talking about 5 levels. First of all, friends and family. They may contribute to your organization hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars because they believe in you. Then there are the angel investors, along with philanthropic or crowdfunding sources, and they might provide funding in the thousands to the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Seed investors, which are early-stage venture capitalists, may commit hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Venture capitalists commit millions, and finally private equity commits millions to billions. So this is the hierarchy of investors as you grow your organization. But let's look at how companies, customers, and investors portray impact. On the DocuSign site, whenever you sign a contract online, they tell us how much savings they're generating as a result of their product in terms of wood, water, CO2, and waste, paper that we just didn't use. Patagonia has on their homepage a film about the fight for America's public lands because they're all about sustainability. Global financial giant UBS has sustainability as a priority on their website. And BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset manager with $7 trillion in investments, has decided that climate risk is investment risk. So they require sustainability-related disclosures along with the underlying business practices and plans whenever they're considering making an investment in companies like these. DBL Partners was founded by Nancy Fund. DBL Partners are venture capitalists and impact investors. DBL invests in companies that can deliver not only top-tier venture capital returns, but also enable social, environmental, and economic benefits. In fact, they believe that healthy financial performance and positive social change are inherently connected. So they invest and help nurture outstanding entrepreneurs in companies in clean technology, information technology, sustainable products and services, and healthcare. And here are some of their investments. So they help to fund the green economy. But let's look at the economy overall. Graphically, here's what it looks like, with all of the end users, suppliers, investors, partners, and customers all in their buildings. And that's the way it did look until the wrecking ball of COVID came rolling through the global economy, leaving waste behind it. And those end users, suppliers, investors, partners, and customers all asking for help. This is the post-COVID economy. So now let's talk about the opportunity that exists to create change at scale at this time in history. Your vision will create a sustainable future. How? By following these 3 steps. Step 1. Determine which of these IRIS codes best describes the benefits that your product will deliver. Are you saving or creating sustainable energy? Are you removing waste? Are you using water more sustainably? Are you cutting down pollution? Are you helping educate underserved communities? Are you cleaning the air? And are you making better use of land? Step 2. Measure it. Go to the IRIS site, follow the step-by-step instructions, and it will guide you through the process of finding out exactly what kind of impact you're making in measurable terms. And step number 3, make it relatable. So let's look at the Impossible Burger. They make meat from plants rather than animals. And they've decided that they're focusing on 3 impact measurements: air, land, and water. For every 4-ounce Impossible Burger you eat, you're saving the water footprint of 25 gallons. 25 gallons. Why? Because livestock takes a lot of water to raise. So for every 4-ounce Impossible Burger, you're saving 25 gallons of water. For every 4-ounce Impossible Burger, you're saving a footprint of almost 90 square feet of land that are not needed in order to grow cattle. That's the size of a small bedroom. And for every 4-ounce Impossible Burger, you'll save the GHG emissions of more than 10 miles driven in a car for every burger. This is how Impossible Burger makes their story relatable. So to recap, how can you create a vision of a sustainable future? Number 1, determine your benefits. Number 2, measure it. And number 3, make it relatable. How? By telling your story. Connect with me. I'd love to see how you tell your story. I'm available on email and through social media. I look forward to hearing from you.